And good evening. My name is Mutgren, and welcome to Dad's Old Shop. And okay, just making sure I had BGM there. Uh, there is also a non-zero chance that my tracking drops off. I forgot to charge the phone that I use for this, which is fine. So today I'm going over part of it because I did that thing where you do a lot of preparation for something, and then you go, I got time, and then you cram it all in the last minute. So that's what I'm doing. Uh, the book, I did show a picture on Blue Sky, and I forgot to just get it over because I just wanted to get this over because we are very close to the end of the day and the end of February. And I wanted to get this done before February, the end of it. So, this is the Motorist Green Book. The Motorist Green Book, sorry, I'm just making sure it's onto the right window here. Yes, perfect. Okay. Was a travel atlas. Now, that was made in the 30s, 37, 36. Just looking up here into my notes. That was a travel. It was based off the Michelin guides, and the Michelin guides were things that if you didn't know where you were going, here's something that you can do, or here's a book that you can pick up to have a heads up on what's there. Except instead of being for finding entertainment or top flight everything, I mean it does do that, but it was finding places that were safe and friendly if you were colored. These were made in 36 was the year, because of Jim Crow laws in the South, and it expanded outwards from that because it wasn't just the South. And they produced them up until the 60s, up until the Civil Rights Act, which you know that might have been calling it a little early, but I get the feeling. Uh, I purchased a 1950 copy, which was the year my dad was born. So my copy is the year that my grandmother would have been coming up from the south to a city and potentially using a guide like this to find out where to be. Um, my grandmother's actually older than this guide, so she does predate it. Um, the book itself is equal parts marketing and community. So there's a fair amount of stuff that looks pretty well vetted, and then there's some stuff that does not look well vetted. Um, and some stuff that's like, yeah, it could be a couple things, but we're just going to go with this, which is totally fine as well as long as you're in a ballpark. I'm guessing it's fine. You will quickly notice that I am over a city here. So on Google, it lets you make your own maps, and your maps uh, go over the. Um, sorry, you can put pins. I'm almost falling asleep. I did this way too late. Um, um, and it goes over different locations and everything. So for this map here, I've gone through. There was a couple categories: um, hotels, restaurants, beauty parlors, and also like clumped in barbers with that. Taverns, which I don't know what distinguishes a tavern from a restaurant or a bar. Nightclubs, I guess dancing is a feature there. Garages and service stations. I guess garages you get fixed, service stations you get gas. That's what I've been kind of seeing. And drugstores, as well as some photo ops. So I've been using this site, the Google site, as well as the book, and I've just been transcribing things down here. Um, Philadelphia has a geohistory network, and you can bring up maps. And a lot of these maps I do, I'll show in a little bit, but I use this site for a lot of things. I like the trains, so you can find pretty old maps here. Like I was in general for this used any the land use maps either from 42, 62, or 19, or the Atlas from 1910 or 1895. I didn't do too much. I think there's one I did a little bit earlier, but there's actually maps that go back to like the 1750s map, and there's definitely some stuff you have to take into account, but like it is the map of the area, and it overlays pretty close. And like for instance here, look, there's an island, Petey's Island. It's not exactly where it is, but it's close enough by the standards of people that have never tasted nacho cheese. Uh, So we use that, and I use that in condition with this here, Philly history, which is a well, also Temple has one, but that is a lot harder to search through. Temple University, so I didn't get to search through that one as thoroughly as I would have liked. So this to allow me to give us some context for certain things. So I am definitely not going to be able to go through the whole thing because I did not finish all the notes on everything here. Um, I figure on this one we'll just go through drugstores, service stations, garages. I think I have enough for nightclubs, and I think I have enough for beauty parlors. I think I actually am not sure about beauty parlors. I have a couple beauty parlors because I think that's kind of where I got caught up. In addition to some events that I found that I thought were pretty nice. Also, some of the help will be notated on some of the photographs that I find. There was, especially in this area here, a lot of that was based off of, I forget her name, but a woman who did a book and leads tours about jazz in the city of Philadelphia. So a lot of the reference material came from that. I'm using Philadelphia because I can't hide that I say Wooder. I don't live there now, but I definitely grew up in the city. So it's familiar to me. I can figure out where stuff is. In general, it's kind of where I think it would be. There is some weirdness about it because in 1950, there was not uh, like this didn't exist. This highway was just not a thing. Um, in addition to this highway not really being a thing, um, Broad Street was a thing. So there just was not as much, and there was and you could it's kind of funny that you can see an outline a little bit of it. Where's Filbert Street? Filbert, it's north, right? Well, there was also a wall that separated the city from the north and the south half. Here we go. Um, which was it was called the Chinese Wall. I'm guessing it was a play on the Great Wall in China, but it went from here to here, I believe. And that yeah, because it goes to Filbert as JFK, and it ended about at the Reading Terminal Market. It did dip, depending on what year you're on, because this was from the 1890s, but parts of it didn't get torn down until the 70s. So the city was kind of cut into where stuff south of this was viewed as less desirable until the 90s, early 2000s, and things above it were viewed as nicer in general. The east being an exception, because over here you have all your museums, and that was kind of the case as before. And if you go too far, you get to Brewery Town and stuff like that, which is um, where a lot of history happened. Street names do change from the 50s. I've only found a couple changes. There was one. I'm gonna go find it right now because that one blew my mind. Not blew my mind. It frustrated me to no end. Where is it? Where are you? You were here. We go. Can I click on my tab here? Is that just giving me Lowe's Hotel? Am I ruined? Oh no, I'm gonna be ruined. Because it was on. It was like right outside of one of the squares. No, I don't want to go all up Lane Garage. We'll do that later. It was a barbecue restaurant. And I just remember because I was thinking I was going mad trying to look over it. It was on Bond Street. Let me just see if I can go find it real quick. There it is. I just, for some reason, was blind to the green. It was there the whole time. So, this restaurant, and I do have a photo here. Oh, God, that does that. Uh, this photo is just of the 1962 land use map for this restaurant. And there's a Mole Street. That's what it is. Mole Street. Bond's a different one. You see that there's a Penn Center Plaza. But this is not what it is like today. This whole area was significantly changed. This street was like three different streets. Um, right now, it's the middle of this building. And that's a Temple Center City and their city hall. Um, the street itself was torn down after that map, so probably the early 70s because that's when that building went up. And this street, um, you see it exists here, and it exists like here, coming off there. It like shows up every so often and it goes also south. Like every so often, you just get a mole street, like right there. And that was so frustrating to try to find. Why don't I start with what is at the bottom of the list here? Let's start with drugstores. So one of them was Smiler's Drugstores, which is in the Palatine Village neighborhood, I think. This is border of parks. Also, neighborhoods changed. Belmont, that's what it is. Because even in my age, neighborhoods have changed their name. So this was a pharmacy, and this one I was very excited to find because it's very hard to get pictures of a lot of these places because they were in places that um, they weren't necessarily bad locations, but they weren't places where resources were generally given. So unless there was a reason for something to be there, they weren't. I got a lot of photographs from contracts to redo concrete curbs. That to me might be where this picture is from. So this was a Smiler Drugstore. It was on this corner, that southwest corner of Pear Street, and this was one of the pharmacies in the Green Book. And I didn't realize this until later, and I almost teared up when I saw this. But there was a game store down in West Philly that I would go to, and I would drive by this lot the whole time. Like that was my standard route, and I just didn't know that there was a pharmacy here that was helpful to people, and it's just nothing. And I couldn't find any other pictures because there's nothing about the tear down or anything like that. Also, the city of Philadelphia does not allow free public. Well, they do, but if you're looking for property records before 1974, you have to enroll in a different program, which is like $100 a year. So while that's fun, it's not really worth it, which is kind of sad. But I get it. It's like, oh, it's just digital. It's the files. Like, yeah, it is, but it's also annoying to manage it and update it. So it basically puts a wall to make sure that people don't get extra work. Because I get that. This is another one, Bounds Drugstore. This one I got a photo of, and this is the building that's currently at that location. And it does look like it could have been a pharmacy. Like it has that thing. You have some coverage there, and people tended to stucco some of the old stuff there. And it has, it's from that time period of being built like 30 years, 40 years before that. But the other part of it is I was able to find property records of this being owned by people with the last name of Bond. So they're bound. So that made me feel more comfortable that this building is it. The other corners just weren't. They didn't have appropriate buildings for it. At least none that I could find. No pictures, definitely. Also, sometimes like there's a bunch of pictures for the John for here, but they're all about this elementary school being built like in the 1910s. So it just took the air out of the room there. So going on to service stations, which are kind of, I guess, just gas stations. This is one of the ones that is a concrete curb origin. So this was a service station. So if you needed new tires or anything like that, you go there. This is from the 60s, I believe, or 50s. And you get a little bit of it, but it's because they redid the curb that we even have a photo. And today it is gone. The neighborhood itself is a bit rough, and you see they're building new houses, so it is what it is. There's a fair amount of I didn't put too many of them because I didn't want it to be like too like touristy on poverty, but there are some places, especially on like Master Street and like around this area. And especially in here when you get in the Strawberry Mansion. Strawberry Mansion is not a very economically well-off neighborhood, but even back then, like in the 50s and 60s, you're seeing houses that were built in the 1800s that still have like wood clad on the outside. Like they don't have like siding; they have like clapboards on the outside. Like it is like if you told me they didn't have indoor plumbing, I would not be surprised. So it's probably a good thing that housing is gone. It's not actually suitable. This was another service station. Belliers was this one? Witcher. Toss a coin to one. So now it is a parking lot for a church. And this is, hey, look, it's that church. Or, no, it's not. There's a church is right here. This is from the 1942 land use map. This is in South Philadelphia with the original Children's Hospital, I believe, location. There is a key for figuring out what these things mean, and there is still variability, but S is a service station. And It's also there in the 1962, I believe. But the 1962 scan that they have is just a little bit blurry. So if I can use the 42, I use the 42. Going up to garages. Garage. It was just called Garage in the book. Uh, this one, I ended up with some pretty neat pictures. So this is weird because this one is in the heart of Center City. Um, well, sort of. It's so if you're in the city of Philadelphia, the city itself is Center City is a neighborhood. It's not the whole city of Philadelphia. Center City is the historic city of Philadelphia, going back to the 1850 pre 1856. Before 1856, there was Philadelphia and then a bunch of surrounding suburbs. In 1856, they decided to share services, and that's where you get the current mostly boundaries of the county, because the county is the city is the county. They're the same functionally. I think in the past they weren't, but in all of my family's lifetime they've been the same. So this is in Center City. So this is inhabited since everything's inhabited, but built up since the 1600s. Uh, this I just put a thing there is a marker for 108 South 18th Street, just because this is supposed to be a what is the specific term here? Garage, a garage. The thing called a garage is a garage. Who would have guessed? Uh, and that is a very narrow profile. And it could be that it was a garage and they just operated very narrowly, or this was the office for a garage and there was another building. D just stands for dwelling, but commercial. So a lot of these things have commercial dwellings where it's like a business on the first story and then housing on the second or third, often resided in by the people that own the business. Whether or not they own the entire building is something else. But and this is like single family for that, or like single story. So it's a smaller building. So I can't see the note here. So this is from this street, Sanson, looking north. So it would be on our left somewhere, like where you see that face there, um, somewhere around there would be the garage. Like you can kind of see, like maybe there's a big shutter that would open. Cars were also narrower then, so you probably didn't need as much room. And today, that area, this is why I kind of think it's around here, because this building is just weirdly shaped. Like it's a facade, and in more current buildings, they have that covered over with just wood. And it's definitely a newer face, because these are the older faces. But if you're going to have a garage, it would probably either be here or here, either in the smaller buildings where it was Mark 1 or the one with the weird entrance thing. So that's what this one is today. So that one's just excited to kind of get a feel for it. And we have Booker Bros, also in South Philly. So this one has two. GSC is gas served curb. So it doesn't seem like they had pumps. It seems like they brought out things to you. I don't understand the business model. Also pretty close to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Somebody's seen before. And in the 60s, because I believe I have the 40 map up here, in the 60s, this building, these Spada buildings, all of them were bought by the Children's Hospital. And looks like they were put back into housing. I'm not exactly sure what they do, but it might not be the original building either. They do look different because this is almost a 20-year-old picture. Oh my, we have Google photos from 20 years ago. But doesn't have the ornamentation of older stuff. So this is likely purchased, knocked down, and rebuilt. And Bond Brothers. This one is also interesting because this one's much farther away than the others. Like, you have some stuff in like Oak Lane, like the YMCA. But in general, a lot more stuff is down here. Oak Lane and this area was a lot more German at the time. And then just as the years went on, they moved out. I mean, we have Germantown, like right here-ish. Yeah, there we go, Germantown, like right there. So right next to the train tracks is the Bond Motor Service. This is what it looks like today. I just thought it was a weird building, because there was multiple addresses here on the map. So either those were torn down and this was rebuilt in its place, which is what is likely. Uh, but for this one, it would be on the right because this is from uh, the street here. Nope, I'm at the YMCA. Don't want to be at the YMCA. It's from Oak Lane looking down 8th Street. So it should be on the right. And you see this house with the weird floppy, it looks like it's wearing like a hat or like a cowl. And then the turret's there. And you don't see either of that. Either it's out of frame or it's not built yet. But it is like the first block down there because the street ends there. So if you were to see it, it would be pretty close and pretty evident there. Like there's the bridge for the train, which is like right there. Oh, wait. If there's a train bridge, that means that this is looking down 8th Street and not looking down. Or looking down Oak Lane and not 8th Street. Because that train line has been there for 100 years. That train line didn't move. Okay. So that's looking at Oak Lane. Okay. So swing and a miss. And I believe I have enough for nightclubs. So a fair amount of these nightclubs were really big into jazz. And the ones that I was able to find the information for from that person were at it there. Like, yeah, you can see it. So and a lot of these are on Ridge Avenue. Ridge Avenue was a kind of think of it like a little Harlem, where a lot of people ended up. I think Joe Frazier's gym was around here. Where's Joe Frazier's gym? It was like 22nd and something. Yeah, 29 Broad Street. Oh, wait, that's a little bit different. 29 Broad Street. That'd be a little farther down. Okay, that'd be closer to the South Philly part. But like this is also a pretty, how do I say it, historic neighborhood. Like the Phillies used to play baseball. Where is it? Where is it? Right here. This square here used to be the Baker Bowl. Baker Bowl? I believe it was Baker Bowl, yeah. So before they played down at South Philly, they played here. Also, they played even earlier, and the Oakland Athletics played at like 22nd. So under the McDonald's. There we go. Yeah, here we go. Shibe Park, Connie Mack. So they moved from Broad Street in like the 20s or 30s over to here, and then from there down to South Philly in the 60s. The reason why it was chosen here was A, there was more room, and also really nice transportation options down there. So, Cotton Club. Let's go find the Cotton Club again. So, Cotton Club. And a lot of this area is like off Temple's campus now. Temple, and they bought up a lot and changed a lot. So, sometimes there's like nothing left. You can't find anything because it's all A, Temple related, and B, Temple built those in the neighborhood. So, the Ridge Cotton Club had Joe Small, and they died in the 1950s. The Elmer Snowden trio played there in 1946. And there's this speculation by that Faye Anderson person that it was probably controlled by the mob, which, you know, their mobs are things. Also, phone number 4 digits there. That's pretty funny. Oh, I clicked off. There we go. And today the site would have been this building here. Crazy that there's a tree there. Like, that's younger than that building. And these buildings actually still stand now. Once again, this is one of the older ones from '07 because it looks like they started implementing this feature in '07. But not much has changed. It looks about the same. Next up, Cafe Society. We live in one. This one was also there on the things written by Faye Anderson. People like Dizzy Gillespie, who I do know. I'm not big on jazz, but played there. And it was pretty close to John Coltrane's house, which is also on Columbia Ave and has had issues with preservation. Yeah, 13th and Columbia Street. Also, Columbia Street threw me for a loop because I forgot that was what it's called Cecil B. Moore now. And that's, it was named after a civil rights activist. And that's cool and all, but it confuses me. So it's Columbia, now it's Cecil B. Moore. Except in when you get really far east or west, it becomes Columbia again. Uh, and this is looking down the street at it. I believe it would be because it's the address 1306. It would have been here. So it would be on the right hand side. Yeah, it would have been somewhere on the right hand side here. And this picture was from about the 50s or 60s. No, this is from 41. I'm sorry, this was from 41. Yeah, it'd be on the right, somewhere around there. Um, I guess I could have gotten the. Actually, we can do that now. So this is 1306 Cecil B. We can just see what this looks like. 1306 Cecil B. Or Columbia. Sorry, I need to get up the thing. Cecil B. Cecil B. Moore. There we go. 1306. So that'd be 13th Street. So 1100, 1200, 13. So it'd be like right here, 1306. So it would be D, which is dwelling, but it's speckled. So that would end up being a commercial interest. I don't know why there's heavy versus light speckles, um, but it looks like that's just pretty consistent. Like we're just on there, and sometimes you'll see that they do have like notes like Lodge Hall and stuff like that. Lodge. I don't know what causes them to do that because I'm not a person that does that. Also, there was another school here, I believe, pretty close by. Because when I tried to, actually, we can do this here, 1306. 1306 Columbia Ave. Oh, I guess I didn't go here. I guess I might have started because this is so this is kind of what it is. The east side of East Columbia Avenue. Uh, Contract. You did it east side of Columbia Street, Thompson Street, Tamori Street. Okay, so not exactly sure, but these are the concrete dudes. Hartzell Playground. Where's the playground? Can I find the playground? I mean, there's schools. Back when Temple was just those couple buildings. That's hilarious. All right, let's go back to the website here. Oh, Columbia and Thompson. Okay, so that's down the intersection a little bit. Right, because Thompson was. See, this is what it is. You just get down, kind of get down rabbit holes. So Columbia and Thompson. Where's Thompson? So North Philadelphia has a lot of these streets. So this is an explainer. Your numbered streets are kind of the main streets, sort of. With every so often, you'll get filled in streets, and those are usually because um, they filled in something else. Like for instance, Kamak Street here, Kamak, 1801. So that probably restarts somewhere down here, right? Yeah. And if we go back far enough, we're at Master, we're at Jefferson, we're at Thompson. Kamak exists here. It stops at Master because of a property owned by a Worcester. Franklin Hall Brickyard. Okay. And actually, let me look. Can you see it here? No. Diamond Street too far. Actually, Diamond Street not far enough. Looking for Lehigh. Here we go. Oh, I was wrong. It was the southwest corner, not the northwest. But there's a baseball park in 1895. Actually, is it back here all the way back here in 1860? No, it's just a parcel. 1875? It's thinking. Somehow it's not in it's 1875 Atlas. Okay. Okay. So I was just looking for Kamak there. Yeah, this one doesn't even bother naming those streets. Philly Atlas. So this street is 13th. And you are Coates. That's not a street I know. Oh, Fairmount. So we got to go further north. Probably won't have it there. Oh, never mind. Cool. What about this one? No. So this is what I was talking about before, where like the city of Philadelphia was smaller. This is what was considered the city of Philadelphia back before the Civil War. Civil War didn't cause it; it just happened around that time. North Cecil. There we go. Robinson, Catterwall, Mary. So your street names change a lot. But yeah, see, where's a Kamak here? Looking for a Kamak. I lost it. All right, so I'm gonna try to find that again because now my brain hurts. Yeah, never mind, I give up. But yeah. So if we look at Cecil B. Moore or Columbia, Broad in Columbia, you bring up the 1875. It would be like here-ish, right? A little further down. Yeah. So around there. There we go. There's Kamak. Is that words won't doing anything? I don't know where the words are. Yeah, Burns, Mulaney. No Kamak here. 13th. Okay. But yeah, that was Cafe Society. Yeah, it's all Temple now. There's not, just kind of boring buildings. Paradise. This one was at Ridge and Jefferson Street. So these are a little bit more confusing. I tried to ask one of my family members who does civil engineering about when you have a listing like this, what is on what, whether it's on the street and that is the closest cross street or vice versa. And what I've been able to find just by looking around is that they're on that street and that is the closest cross street. So like if you're on Ridge and you're looking for Jefferson, where are you, Jefferson? This Jefferson. I don't know why it's not showing me the name of the street. It just refuses. Um, if I come real close, there we go, Jefferson. It means that it's on that street, and Jefferson is the closest cross street. So it can be anywhere from halfway through here to halfway through here. And looking through the 40s, it would be somewhere around here because it's on Ridge Avenue, with Jefferson being the closest intersection. So on Ridge, with Jefferson being the closest intersection. Oh, I put it on Jefferson with that. Okay, I might have flipped it, but it'd be part of that jazz area there. Um, I don't think I put in. I probably put a picture in there, so from somewhere else, just because it is that area's seen a lot, and we're gonna be back here. The Crystal Room, another one also on the Temple campus. This one was very. I was able to get a lot of photos about this, and this one was uh, very exciting for me for that. So this is off Temple's campus, and it does look different now. They've torn it down and rebuilt it, which is totally fine. So this was the Club of the Crystal Room. It was the middle one here. Um, so 3-story dwellings at the top, and there's balcony, and it was a nightclub. And these were the style of those old buildings at the time. The little shanty there. And oh, I clicked out. Dang it! I was able to find a photo from 1901. for this address. So it is has like a big bay window. So it's this one here or this one of these two, because it is connected. Yeah, this is the middle one because that's that one. But this is that building. Was from '07. Yeah, 106 years later. And it looks a little rough, but it still has most of the character. Your arches and everything like that. Oh, like it still is that. In spite of everything, you're still you. So that was just cool because I was not expecting that. Next up after the crystal room is Progressive, not the insurance. This one is in Point Breeze, which is pretty far in South Philly. Whenever I think of sort of. Whenever I think of South Philly, I think of like, are you either at the stadiums or are you like at Center City? Like I kind of forget this no man's land exists. It's not no man's land. Most of the people that live in South Philly live in these areas. My mom's from here, so this is all I can find about Progressive. There is a map at the time that notes that there's a club in this building, just says club, but it doesn't um, expand upon that at all. Um, this is also an older picture, but yeah. Then there's something built there now. They built up housing, so not interesting to see there. Here we go. Noted as M3M Club. So third three-story building and a club. And let's see the Cotton Bowl. We'll do Zanzibar last. So the Cotton Bowl was, I couldn't find really anything great about this one because this one was also off Temple's campus and it's just Temple. I couldn't find any old buildings. There is an old land use there. It's used as Club HSE. I forget what the extension is. Do I still have it up? No. This is now public housing. Um, this there used to be something here. I kind of saw something on an image there, but it couldn't really like it didn't really corroborate correctly. Oh, let me just pick through here about the Thompson here. All right, these are all Columbia and Thompson. Nothing on 13th. Here, this is similar to that place here. This is kind of what those buildings looked like back in '56. So even if it's not exact, it kind of gives you an idea of like what was there. And this is the curb contracts that we're getting those photos from. So yeah, they're and not able to figure out a whole ton. This is now Temple, but it was something else that was also big. Temple just bought it all up. Just not a lot there. Um, Kind of weird that you'd have a club for people from the South called the Cotton Bowl, but you do you. We have Wat Zanzibar, which is down from the Crystal Room on the same street. Um, so it was also pretty interesting because I was also able to find stuff. So this, before 2007, was turned into a charter school. Um, but this was the building beforehand. It was a row of houses like this, and a lot of them were tucked in because it was factory housing back in the day. But yeah, there was an oyster shop, and I guess that became a club at some point. Jazz hall and residences, and that also had some jazz stuff there that I guess I just forgot to throw in there. Do I have anything interesting here for this one? Oh, here we go. Oh wait, I was going to go to beauty parlors, right? I did have enough for beauty parlors. No, never mind. I don't. There's a couple that I do. Uh, so I got through the four that I was going to get through. Um, and then I have these things here. So this block was partially subsumed as part of riots that happened in the 60s, civil rights riots from Columbia Street. Um, they just kind of, or CCB more at that time, but kind of, it was a whole thing. Uh, and there's just like some bad luck. So one fun thing here, that before we get to the bad luck parts, is in the southeast corner there was a lumber yard, New Deal Lumber. So that was there, and that did catch fire, unfortunately. Uh, down the block a bit, there was the farmer's market. Um, it was a building from the 1800s. It was really beautiful. A little floppy hat there. And then in the 60s, it burned down and they never rebuilt it. Looks like they started to, and it just didn't keep. Um, Also on the block with a lot of the jazz clubs here. Uh, part of Jazz Row here. Also, there was a barber shop. Here we go. This was part of Butler's, which was a bar. Yeah. So these were in the same location. So they probably were businesses one on top of each other. Well, right next to each other. Um, you'll notice that they're at addresses that don't exist. So they're just kind of at the closest that they are now. Because this area is, there's a building here, and that's kind of it. It's an old building. It's abandoned, but it's still there as opposed to everything else. And for the beauty shop, it would have been right in the middle of this block here before a triangle. So like right here, 4642. There was a match factory there, which is also kind of ironic because of the fire. There's also a fire engine right there. This was just engine 36 existed right here in 2040, which is this one here, which went all the way to the back. It's weird that they had the whole thing, but whatever. And in the 60s, this was the street facing south. So on... Oh, there we go. So if you were facing it, you'd see the Pearl Theater, which was over here. I guess you'd have to be over here to have it be on that side of your body. Whatever. Which was this movie theater there that closed, I think, in the 80s, as this area kind of went through hard points. Another beauty parlor. Business there, so at least that building's still up. Looks like LaSalle's, like there's a beauty parlor and a place on there, so they might have owned a couple buildings together. And there was a big old fire here in 1976. So you have Ridge Avenue here, Master Street here, and this is from the air. Ridge is here, Master's here, which makes this Lambert Street, I believe. Wait, right? I'm like doing this thing with my finger to try to line it up here. Because there's no weird turns on it. Looks like it goes through. But this was took down most of the block, which is why there's not much there. Because these were old houses that were all built on top of each other before, good fire codes were established. So it didn't take much. So this is what I have so far. There are, like I said, a couple ones that I just have stuff for because I was looking through. But the second one, so I would like to do a second stream of this. And just kind of go over areas. Like, for instance, the Wunderbar, which is funny because it was probably made in the 40s, so it's probably somebody coming back from World War II that went, let's make a pun as a name. On 19th and Montgomery as well. And actually in a building that is, well, it's a new building, but at least it's not abandoned or not there at all. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones that were interesting here that I just had. Oh yeah, just the barbecue one that drove me crazy. I think also, oh yeah, some of them were just misspelled. Like this was listed as Burke Street, Burke, when it should have been Burke's. And I couldn't find any historical record of a Burke Street. And then YMCA's. I did not, some of them are right across from the street from each other, so I don't know why that happened. But some of these are on top of each other. So once I am able to dig a little bit more in, I'll get some more references. We'll go through and hit more of the meat. But I just wanted to get this stream out because I really did research and finish it on Colored People time. So I just wanted to get that out there while it's still this month. And just in time, as it looks like my phone battery is dying, about to die, has died. For a good 45 minutes. So I'd like to thank you for joining me. And I hope this stream isn't too scuffed. I For some reason, OBS did not give me the options I wanted, so I just kind of went YOLO. We're gonna let it ride. And if I have to, I'll just repost a VOD. But thank you for joining me, and enjoy your march tomorrow. Have a good night.